Welcome to the Judgment-Free Zone. You've downloaded the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast with Matt and Amy, recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois. Welcome to episode 85 for July 1st, 2024.
Well, hello there, children. Welcome back to your weekly freak show that is the Alcohol-Free Marriage and More podcast. I am Matt. I'm actually recording this week, along with the always lovely Coach Amy. How are you, my love?
I am great. And just remember, subscribe to the podcast, write a review, tell people about us. And when you make those reviews and even if you just like it on the YouTube or on the Apple podcast, it just helps.
Now we're on YouTube podcast. I guess Google Podcast went away. Now it's on YouTube podcasts. I don't know.
Oh, man,
the feed
that's
somewhere
so
else.
Cool.
I just did what Google told me.
It just helps us.
Yes.
And it helps just get us out in front of maybe some different people who might want to hear our story.
Coach Amy getting right into the shilling of the podcast.
I know, exactly. No, we got to get it done up front.
Because we forget.
Exactly.
And while you're out there doing other things other than listening to the podcast, you can go to joyontheirside.com, where you can pick up our Beyond Spirits, our guide to the 7 tips for starting your AF journey, things that actually helped us start our journey.
Exactly. And what better of a month to do it in Dry July.
Dry July, kids. Dry July, because it rhymes.
That's right.
We only get sober in months that rhyme.
That's right. And then don't forget, we also have our weekly marriage meeting guide.
Which is linked in the notes below.
Yep. And you take the next one because this is your baby.
Oh, that's so subtle. If you do watch on the YouTubes, you may have seen me sporting my Remember Tomorrow sweatshirt. I may or may not have borrowed it from the sleeve of my Go Brewing sweatshirt. It says Remember Tomorrow. I thought it was cool. So I didn't ask Joe. I just made these. Of course, I'm not making no money.
And we're not branding it with anything of us either.
Yeah, and I'm not making any money either. So, but I'm going to put a link down below.
But if you like it,
it's just a Printify shop. It just says Remember. There's a ladies V-neck T-shirt. Because Amy's all about the V-necks. There's a regular T-shirt, and I
don't have one.
I only have this one because it was a prototype. So I want to be sure it didn't totally suck before I
Remember tomorrow.
Remember tomorrow to order a sweatshirt.
Don't play Russian roulette tonight.
Go, kids. Exactly.
Remember tomorrow.
So I don't know. It's just kind of a fun, subtle. There's a lot of sober shirts out there that are kind of like in your face. This is kind of just a subtle sober shirt. So I don't know. Give it a shot, kids. Support the podcast. Really, the markup is like so because the markup defaults to like something crazy high, and I'm like, these aren't even the right price. Like I don't want to make it. I just want people to have fun with this and get an inexpensive T-shirt. So I did not. I took it as low as I could.
Whatever, guys.
I'm making as little money as possible. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm so good at this podcast business, though.
And we're doing it at no cost, and we don't have anything branding us or anything.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Business.
I think we need to maybe come up with something else and actually brand it.
Put a logo on it. Should we come out with a podcast business masterclass? How to not make anything podcasting.
Follow us
for
more information and tips.
So in other news, it's not shilling our podcast. We recently had an engagement. Our son got engaged in Chicago to his now fiancée. So that was a very cool location. Part of the reason I bring it up is, it was very cool, and they include a bottle of Dom Perignon champagne, and the kids drink. So the champagne was there. But working with Manny, who was amazing.
Who was there? Who?
He was like the concierge. Yes, of the London house for this location. But talking with him, and they were able to do an NA champagne, which I probably would have recommended Gießen. That's probably the best NA champagne. But they had toast that they offered everybody, and you love toast. Toast
I do. Amazing. I would have. Honestly, it was great in the moment, and it tastes wonderful.
Right.
But it has caffeine, and so I was awake.
Yes.
But you know what?
Hey. You know what? The point of the story is everybody had the same glass. Some people had champagne. Some people had our toast. We all had a great time. We all enjoyed the celebration. We all partook the exact same way. We just did not have alcohol in our glass.
Yes.
And it was
we
weren't
great.
Missing out on anything. Nothing was lost on the occasion. Nothing was like.
No, it's just nice. Again, all you have to do is ask.
Yes.
And honestly, I had smuggled in my purse a thing of Liars.
A can of Liars.
A can of Liars Classico in case, because I was like, you know what? If you're not going to bring it, I'm going to go find myself a champagne glass and I will put my own drink in
But
there.
you didn't have to do that.
I did not have to do that.
The Lennon House was super accommodating.
Don't make me get my NA wine out of my purse.
She's that old lady
Don't
now.
make me do it. But when
Old lady.
we did go to an event last weekend.
Oh, yeah. Because most hotel conference centers, they don't
You know
have
what?
jack.
That is like the last
It is.
thing.
It is the
Like,
one that does not have
They have
any.
nothing. I mean, they have nothing except
know what the-
here's your Diet Coke or here's your Sprite.
I don't
or
understand what the
here's
overhead
this.
is. Like, it's most places carrying a can. It's not like you have a keg
Exactly.
you're keeping. Just
Because they don't want to and nobody's pushing it. Well, anyways, I did take my Liars for that. And
pro tip, I should have asked them for an empty wine glass you could have poured it into.
that's fine.
But whatever.
I don't care. I had a tall water glass. It was a stemmed water glass,
It was
which was weird.
It's very 1995.
So I went ahead and I got some ice and I put it in there.
And nobody questioned you one
No
bit.
one cared. And you know what? Honestly, I didn't even care. And looking back on it, I probably didn't even need it. But I had it and I enjoyed it. And
But, we talk about the things you miss, what do you miss out when you quit drinking? You know what you miss out on? Waiting in that stupid bar line.
oh my gosh.
I got my one free tonic and lime. Very exciting. I'm like, I don't need more tonic and lime. I'm not going to wait in the line.
I'm
You
not
need to
waiting
pay
in
for
line
it.
for that.
I'm not paying for it. So, no.
But it was a fun evening.
Yes.
You,
That was a very nice evening,
You
yes.
were a part of that. You actually did the video
Did the video, the campaign video
for
as it were. Yes. Wishbone
the-
Canine Rescue here in town.
It was great.
They put on a
and
very nice event. The
It
Doubletree
was.
did a nice
So
event.
hopefully
Doubletree just
maybe
needs to get the
next
NA
year-
drinks. Other than that, it was 100% awesome.
next year we could even maybe put that into a request. Hey,
There you go. I will do it if.
you know what you need to have? Well, I mean, I think
I'll donate the 12-pack of NA beer. There you go.
well, I'm sure. I mean, I bet if we,
What do we always say?
I
You
bet
miss
if
a
we
chance to
even
make money.
reached out to like Go Brewing or something and said, hey, would you donate like even a case
Oh, I'm sure.
of beer? I know Athletic Brewing does that. If you contact them about different things, they will donate.
See? Where
So-
were you when I was thinking this? Well, speaking of drinks, Amy,
Okay.
tell us about
Drinks,
let me do my drink of the
the
week because I want to hold.
well-
yours is amazing. Let me do
Well-
mine first.
Well, let's do this. As we always do, we firmly believe, and this is one of the tools that we use, and I also teach when in my coaching, is
One
that
of our
you.
7 tips.
Yes, it is. You want to keep the ritual, but you want to replace the ingredients.
Yes. Which is a
So-
big part for us because we had that ritual of
We
having
had
a cocktail every night.
Our
Yeah.
ritual our ritual is strong.
Yes, yeah. So you just had to remove the alcohol, and how do you keep the ritual?
Yeah. So go ahead.
So that's
and
why we do this.
you share.
I think I just talked about Best Day Brewing when we were in Chicago, and
No, this was the one that they had at the
no,
restaurant.
the cloche was when they had the
Oh,
restaurant. I bought that one also, but then they actually had Best Day at Benny's.
Oh, cool.
So I bought their Hazy IPA and the cloche. I think we talked about the cloche.
There's
right?
a dog hair there.
There's a
hanging out.
dog.
There you
hair,
go.
This is very good. Best Day Brewing is a awesome brewery. I have no idea where they're at. I don't know a whole lot about them. There's a whole little spiel I can read in the back that I won't. Looks like they're from California, kids. 53 calories. That's kind of an odd number. Usually it's something more even, but I would
They
have.
probably just said, you know what? We don't want it to be 50. Let's make it 53.
And I did. If you get out to Sober Market right now, they're doing a sale on a bunch of stuff for Dry July. A lot of places are doing Dry July sales. So if you want a sale, check out because
This is the time
'Cause I
to
did-
experiment with different NA
Yes.
options.
'Cause it's-
There's so
Oh,
many
yes.
now.
Check-
4 years ago, there were not
No.
this many.
no. 4 years ago, you could not have made the drink you're going to talk about.
I know. So this is fun. This year, I think this is new, is the Waterloo Sparkling Pina Colada.
Which I was looking closely, Amy. They actually call it the Pinot. I don't think that's how you
Pinot.
colada. That's not how you spell pina colada, is it? I don't think it is.
Pinot. I don't know.
I think it's a
But
little
anyways,
clever.
they're like doing like
Pina
it's
colada.
No,
It's a coconut water, basically.
and they have all over NA, non-alcoholic. 0 calories.
And then what'd you put in it?
And then I put in 2 shots of, what is it, the Monday rum?
Which is
spiced
rum. That we picked up at Generation NA in
we
Lafayette.
did.
Yes.
And
it makes an amazing cocktail.
It does. It has a wonderful...
I had made a rum and tonic, which is weird, I know.
I think...
Which I like, but you made that, I'm like, oh, I kind of felt
I really like this.
I had drink envy.
And you can put... I have some coconut water that I think last night, did I put some coconut water in it?
But you don't get the effervescence.
I know you didn't. Honestly, you didn't even need it. But this is a very fun, refreshing summer drink, island type drink.
I think we're taking this on vacation, right?
That is going on vacation. Yes. I want to get me some of this on vacation. But all right, everybody talks about calories too. Oh my gosh, how many calories is this? And I'm like, people, do you realize how many calories are in a glass of wine? I think it's 120 calories at least.
Yeah. The alcohol alone is a lot.
For me, it was like 700 calories every time I drank a bottle of wine.
Tell me how many millions of calories are in this rum?
For each shot. 5 calories. There's 2 shots in here, so 10 calories because the Waterloo is 0. It's a
banger drink for 10 calories.
It is really good.
Yeah.
I will be taking this on the vacay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was sometimes you mix them like, that's not bad. Sometimes you're like, ooh, got to write that one.
No, this one, and it's so easy. So anyways, love it, love it, love it.
Yes. All right, so Coach Amy, being the coach-tastic coach that you are.
Coach-tastic coach.
It is Dry July, so share a few things that help with Dry July.
Well, what
do I do with Dry July?
Well,
is it different than Sober October? Other than it's not fall. Less pumpkin spice.
Sober October, Dry July, it all kind of, these are the months that rhyme.
Those are the 2 big ones, yeah.
The big ones that rhyme.
Well, it's a good mid-year.
Well, what I was doing the research. I help people with this all the time, but I thought, let's just get this all put together.
Yeah, make it a kit for me.
Nice. But I wanted to share because when I was out there, just kind of searching again, Dry July, and that I found out of Australia, it's called the Dry July Foundation, and it's supporting people affected by cancer. Alcohol is a class 1 carcinogen. It's been in our country, it's 7 cancers, but I know in other countries it's linked to as many as 9 cancers. So they came up with this foundation in 2008. They have raised over $90 million for people affected by cancer. I just found it just really interesting that, take off the month and get healthy. And we're going to talk about some of the benefits of 30 days, but then you can actually make a difference in someone's life. And they have different organizations you can donate to. There are people you can donate to. And I just thought it was a really, really, thought it was really cool.
And the studies have said even a month off, even if you don't quit, helps.
74% of people who do a dry month off
drink less afterwards. Right?
They drink less afterwards.
So this is like your mid-year,
Yeah, for some people, it could just be a mid-year reset. For some of you, maybe you did January. You're like, you know what? I want to do this. Or maybe
if you did January, fell off, and
maybe you want to come back or whatever. Or maybe you're just sitting there and you're questioning, and you're like, I think I want to take a break. Take a break. You know what? And you don't need a month. A special month to take a break.
No. It doesn't even have to be the first of the month either.
I did do a Dry July, but I had already
done
stopped. When you talked about dry January, dry January, I could never do that.
Right.
I remember having conversations at a bar with somebody who was doing dry January, and I'm like, wow.
And I want to put a plug in too for people like, get one of the apps that you can track all your dry days or whatever. Even if you come out 80%, if you're like me who drank every day, 80% of a month is amazing. Yeah. So don't worry if you get a data point along the way. It's not that. Don't let the fact that I might not do all 30 days perfect keep you from trying.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you stumbled 2 or 3 times. Cool. Next time, maybe only stumble 2 times. The next time, maybe only stumble once. Right. Yep. So it's okay. It's a work in progress. That's what kept me held back for a long time. Like, I can't do 30, so I'm not even going to bother.
So what I wanted to use, and these are kind of off of this Dry July Foundation, because I thought this was such a cool, it's such a neat way to give yourself an incentive. Like, I want to incentivize you to do this for a greater good. So even if you don't contribute to like Dry July, maybe you come up with your like a little a foundation or somewhere here or a local cause that you want to, give back to.
Sure.
Wishbone Rescue is a great one.
There you go.
And so look at it that way. Like, okay, I'm going to do this, find somebody that, can be your support buddy. If you don't have somebody, reach out to Matt and me, Amy at joyontheotherside.com. Don't know why it stopped like that. But anyways, but what you want to do is, number one, tough goals become easier to commit when they're closely linked with your values. So, think of it this way. Hey, I'm going to be raising money or whatever, but really try to embrace this challenge, that you are going to be feeling better at the end of the month, that you are going to be helping someone or a cause. So I think it's
I'm doing it for a cause. I'm not doing it necessarily for myself.
Just for me.
I don't want to let down the children or the animals or the
and you're going to get the benefits from it too.
Right.
Be aware that there are going to be times that it is not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable, but have a strategy in place for these moments, because there's going to be urges that are going to be coming up. It just happens because you have these neurological pathways that have been established. So
for many years for some of you.
So, when an urge comes up or something like that, we have, like we said, our Beyond Spirits. There are tactics. We just mentioned one. Replace the ingredients, but keep that ritual. Come up with a plan that you're gonna do,
especially around the wine witching hour.
Oh yeah, and just that positive mindset. I'm a firm believer of making a firm decision in the morning. Make that firm decision in the morning, and then that helps with the decision fatigue, because you're making so many decisions throughout the day. So,
and part of that decision can be, I'm not going to, and this is what I'm going to do instead.
Yes.
Like for me, I kind of would go out and fly a drone or go do an act. Like, okay, instead, I had to do something, because if I
go for a walk,
I could replace the ingredients. That definitely helped, but still, like, okay, but then what? Like, if you're not drinking, do I really want to sit around? Then I got bored. It's like, well, then I want to drink. So I had to plan an activity.
Yes, exactly. The next one that I'm going to say, and I really like the way they phrase this. It says, recognize that the urge to have a drink is simply a combination of thoughts, bodily sensations, and feelings, not an order that must be followed on autopilot. It is bringing awareness. Like, okay, you know what? Just like you said, the witching hour is going to happen.
Right.
So be aware of it and give yourself, don't feel bad.
Right.
About, having a craving. I mean, it's going to come up. So just expect it.
We had quit for a long time and went to Disney and had a craving at Epcot.
I mean, yeah.
Who would have thought Epcot's a trigger? But
and we do have triggers. I mean, we still have triggers. And we've even said, something really stressful comes up. Well, that would have been a time when I would have had a drink.
Yep.
But having that sense of awareness, really, bring yourself to that point. I know that there's going to be some challenges with this, and it's okay, and I can do hard things.
Yes, you can. True story.
Let's see. I think we just covered the next one with what I just said. It says, accept the urge to drink when it turns up. Rather than judging the urge as bad, simply notice it as it arises and acknowledge it. Make room for it and let it be. And just know that it is going to, most urges or cravings only last about 20 minutes.
Right. If that.
And that's why we say distract.
Yeah.
Go and do
something.
something.
Go do something, yeah.
Organization.
Yeah, there you go.
How many cabinets and drawers did we organize in the very beginning. I know I did. I mean, it was constantly.
Some people even made like little lists of like, oh, I did that early on. I had like a list of like, nice to do things that don't need done, but it's like, oh, so that if I found myself sitting on board, I'm like, oh, I go to my little list. I'm like, oh,
yes,
I wanted to do that, organize this or move this, whatever.
Things that need to be done, put it down. They're not urgent things, but
and I mean, not big projects, but just like little things like, oh, I have time. I need something to do. I'll go do that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Notice again that cravings will intensify, but they also will subside. So you could have moments. I still have this with food. I mean, things come up. It's like, oh man, this was really tough, or I don't like the way my body feels right now, or I'm feeling
Let's
anxious.
go get ice cream. No,
Let's go
Amy.
do this. I mean, yes, but I will also say, have an accountability partner.
Accountability buddy.
Because with my getting healthier and losing weight and getting stronger and all of those things, I even said last week, I said, all right, I'm having some issues with ice cream. Will you be my accountability buddy? Will you tell me no?
And then like a day later, I want ice cream. I'm like, no, we're doing this instead.
And you're like, no, remember we talked about this. Okay. So, fruit for dessert. The next day, it came up again.
And I said no.
And we both, but it wasn't, it was.
Although, in related news, when you quit drinking, we've all heard the term pre-gaming, right? So you have a couple drinks before you go out. When you quit drinking and you like ice cream, you go pre-gaming before we went out to dinner. We had a late dinner, like 6:45. So like,
well, that was on Thursday. 2 nights of no Amy. We knew we were going out to eat on Thursday.
Let's go get ice cream before. So we pre-gamed our ice cream.
So we had the ice cream earlier because we were meeting friends out for a later dinner, and I knew that they had one of my other favorite desserts.
But it would have more calories
and I'm
than
like,
ice cream.
if we had the ice cream first,
see,
I will not eat as much. And I didn't. No. It was great.
And
I enjoyed
that ice cream
everything.
had less calories than that cake would have had.
It did, because that cake is like, well,
yeah, it's too good.
A slice of this, it's with the Tres Leches cake.
Yep.
And it serves 4 people, and you and I easily split a piece.
And in related ice cream news, did you know there's bottomless ice cream on cruise ships?
Did you know that this could be the thing that makes me go on a cruise with you?
So we don't drink, and like I don't care about the drink packages. But I'm like, what? You can get endless ice cream on a cruise? I'm like, that could be as detrimental to us as endless alcohol. But I'm like, oh, now I might be interested.
Ooh, yeah.
Come back 20 pounds heavier, but
So, and then the last one on this list, and I talk to people about this too, is you have to consciously recommit to your decision to do a dry July every day.
Yep.
I mean, and in the beginning when I took my break, it was a constant decision that I'm like, I'm not drinking today. I've made this choice that I want to live a healthier lifestyle. I feel better. And I would remind myself every day. It's no different than choosing like to be committed to my husband. Like
or choosing to go to the gym.
Or going to the gym. Or brushing your teeth.
True.
I don't necessarily like brushing my teeth, but it's a very beneficial thing.
I don't want my teeth fall on my head, so
exactly.
I do it. Right.
So you have to start to look at this, at least for July or whatever, month or whenever you're wanting to do a break.
Right.
That I'm consciously looking at this as a choice. So that kind of just, and there's all kinds of other things around. Mindset is huge.
Yes.
Having a positive mindset around all of this, that I get to do this. I get to do this every day.
Right.
I get to make the choice to not have a drink today in order to support a cause.
See? Yeah.
I don't know. This really resonated
no, it
with me.
It shifts it a little bit because it's not just about you. Like,
yeah.
You're doing it for a reason.
Exactly. I like that.
And all of this sort of, I'm not going to go into the sober summer travel because really everything you just talked about kind of touches on that. But, summer travel can be a big trigger for a lot of people, right?
And we did, we've got a couple of previous podcasts where we talk about travel.
Yep. Yeah.
And so we should look those up and put those in the show notes too.
And part of it becomes just like, most people associate vacation with drinking. So that's one of the triggers, or, part of
summer.
It's summer. There's another trigger, or it's just because you're going to that, like, I'm on a boat on a lake. That's just where you drink.
Well, and it's because of these established patterns that we have. It is a habit. I remember listening to a podcast. I'm sorry, I can't remember which one it was. And the host was talking about she hadn't drank for 5 years. And then they went back home, or wherever they went. It was to go on this hike. They went on a big hike up this mountain. And they get to the top. And she said the first thought that came to her mind was, wow, I want a beer. And she was like, where did that come from? But she's, when she really thought about it and analyzed it, that's what she did every other time they did that.
Right.
Recognize the thought. It's just a thought. I don't have to act on this thought. The thought doesn't even have to be true. It's just a thought. And she was like, huh. She just was curious about why she had that thought. She didn't have to act on that thought. Like, none of us have to act on a thought that we have.
And just because you've always done it every other time doesn't mean you have to do it this time.
No.
It doesn't make it right or wrong either way.
Exactly. So I wanted to also, now that we've kind of talked about some of those things, is this okay to go into this next?
You're the boss.
Okay. What happens to your body when you give up alcohol for a month? I just thought it was just a really good reminder of some of the benefits. We saw immediate benefits. My anxiety went down. Your irritable bowel syndrome went away. But it improves your mental health. Alcohol may seem like a mood elevator because you're dancing, you're having a great time with your friends, but actually it's a depressant and it has serious negative effects. So you might be having this great time in the one evening, but then in the middle of the night you wake up and the anxiety is high. The next day, you have a low mood, you have low energy, and it's just because your body is trying to get you back into homeostasis. And alcohol is a depressant, and it just exacerbates anxiety and depression.
Yep.
So, improved hydration. Alcohol is horrible for your skin.
It's a diuretic, right?
It is a diuretic. And so you are constantly going to the bathroom. And we all woke up with cotton mouth and
what? Never.
Yes. And so it really does affect, how you are at work. It affects your workouts. It affects just everything.
Wrecks your entire morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, I will have to say that is one thing that, for like both of us, like our skin got so much better.
Yeah. Less puffy too.
Less puffy. Yeah.
Yeah. The inflammation is crazy.
Yep. You're going to end up with a healthier liver.
True story.
It is bad for your liver. Your liver immediately, thank you, God, for giving us a liver. But as soon as you drink alcohol, it basically, the rest of your body systems, your digestive system basically shuts down so that your liver can process out all that alcohol. Yep. And it's just over time, especially if you drink a lot, if you're a heavy drinker, it really exhausts your liver. So you're giving your liver a break, and your liver's saying thanks.
Well, and if you look at the bad things, how bad sugar is on your liver too. If you're doing like Jack and Coke or whatever, you're just doubling down on all that.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Or as I learned, gin and tonic, because tonic is basically clear pop water. So gin and tonic can do the same thing too.
There you go. Improved weight loss.
True.
That is something. Or, yeah, you definitely, weight loss.
Yeah.
But there are so many calories in, I think there's 7 or 9 grams. I always screw that up. I'm not going to even.
Of what?
Of how like the calories. It's so calorie dense. So I'm not going to go in that. It's just not. Yeah. But anyways, it is. There's a lot of calories. I know a bottle of wine, I think when I figured it up, was like 700 calories.
That adds up.
Yeah. And I might be rounding up a little bit. Maybe it was.
Bottle of NA wine's like what, 70?
680 or something like that. But, when you drink a bottle of wine, that's a lot. And when I sat there and I figured out, I mean.
You could have 2 ice cream cones.
Well, I was figuring, I can't remember what was out. I'm not going to look it up, but I think I was averaging 500 extra calories every day that I drank.
I mean, I know I did for sure.
And that's a lot. And so, and a lot of people are like, they don't lose weight immediately. But mine was, I lost weight about 14 pounds over a 6-month period. It just
right.
gradually fell off.
Well, if you change nothing else, you're automatically in a calorie reduction, if not deficit.
And that was the only thing that I changed. I didn't change anything else at all.
Right.
Just status quo. So it does help. You lost weight and you did not need to lose weight. So
no, I had well, I'm like, what's wrong? And I started actually adding up my calories. I'm like, well, without the alcohol, I'm in a calorie deficit every single day.
Yes. And then the last that I'm going to talk about, because there's so many benefits, is a bigger bank account.
True story.
When you were spending that much money, we were spending a lot of money on alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
there was like 1 month with like $175 just at one tap house in town.
Yeah.
And I think we go there too often. I'm like, probably.
But when you sit there and you think about that, because I remember in the first few months, like because I paid the bills and I'm like, I don't have to ask for any money. Where this is very odd. What's going on here? And gradually, and we've talked, we buy a lot of NA stuff.
Right.
But now, as you guys have heard us say before, or if you're new, we now drink alcohol or non-alcoholic drinks.
Drink our beverages.
Yeah, we drink our NA beverages like we always wanted to
1 or 2.
drink. Yes. 1 or 2, and we always have different spirits that they're available now to use, and you buy NA beer, and it's like, but
a case of NA beer a case of beer would have probably lasted me 6, 12, 8, 4 days maybe.
Yeah,
3.5, 4 days. Now a case that'll last a couple of weeks maybe. I mean, I maybe drink 2 I maybe drink 2 a day, so maybe close to a couple of weeks.
I don't even think you're there anymore. I mean,
depends on the day. Some days I have 2. I'm crazy,
I know, it's crazy.
I like to have a beer with dinner and watch Jeopardy because I'm old. But no, there's some days it's like, I don't feel like a.
But it does. You save up money. I mean, let me look at my app. Let me see on my app because
how many? And I well, even as example.
And this is just me. This is just my
like every time we go to dinner, we're saving $20-$30 at least. When we went out to that event, we probably saved 10 or, whenever you go out, you're saving $20-$30 anytime you're going out because we always would have at least, I would always have 2. You'd have probably 1, maybe 2. That's easily 20.
Oh, let's be, I was having 2.
If we both had 2, you're probably talking at least
I was having at least 2.
So yeah, all of our restaurant tabs went down.
So, and this is just my figuring. My habit was like an $8 a day habit. And I am now at 1,558 days.
And you saved how much money?
$12,464. That's just me.
Now then you reinvest it in the NA stuff, so I mean it's not complete. Yeah, but still, you're saving money. There's no two.
Oh, it's a huge savings.
Right.
So that's just me. So I mean, we probably.
So you don't have to give up your Starbucks. Just give up booze.
The 2 of us would probably be about double that.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although here's the thing too, you also buy cheap stuff when you drink like I drank because you can't afford the good stuff all the time. So there's that too.
True, and
there's that too.
And
but when people complain,
that's not including inflation either.
NA stuff's expensive. I'm like, not really? And again, you don't drink as much of it.
Well, and I've had people do this. They're like, well, what's the point? Well, the point is the carcinogen has been removed. There's no ethanol in the drink that I'm drinking.
Exactly.
So that is my point. And I am always about informed consent.
Right.
I honestly, good grief, I'm choking.
Great. Death by Waterloo.
Okay. No, but I'm all about making sure that you are just informed.
Do what you want, but just know what you're doing.
Be informed.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just like...
and you can bury your head in the sand until your doctor, like mine, says you have a fatty liver. Then you really can't ignore that anymore.
Well, and what was it? The report?
It's like that napkin. I'm sorry. I took offense to that napkin I saw advertised.
Funny.
It's like a cocktail napkin. It says, "Shut up, liver. It's fine." I'm like, I know it comes across as ha-ha, but you really are damaging your liver.
Well, this story was just released. It says more women are drinking themselves sick. The Biden administration is concerned. And it talks about how now women, the health problems that women are having are happening younger due to alcohol than they ever have before. It talks about how parenthood tended to be a protective factor for women. But now that is not really the case. 600,000 people in the U.S. died from causes related to alcohol from 1999 to 2020. And it is positioning alcohol among the leading causes of preventable death in our country behind tobacco, poor diet, and physical inactivity, and illegal drugs. So
put down the booze, put down the crack, put down the cheeseburger, and go to the gym.
And quite honestly, like I've said before, I think a bottle of wine now,
it's like a half pack of cigarettes, I think.
It's like 10 cigarettes for women and 5 for men in your
so what you're saying is I could start smoking again if I gave up drinking. No.
And for any and women, I mean, this is one of the things that I just didn't know. I mean, it causes breast cancer. And if you're drinking,
but yeah, you can still go get a mammogram and a mimosa at the same time.
I know it, and that really bothers me.
Don't get me started.
I'm going to write a sternly.
I did write one to the American Cancer Society, and they didn't care.
Yeah, they don't care. And that's what's sad.
Yeah.
That is sad that they're like, no, it's fine. We're gonna keep doing these things, even though wine is literally, well,
I don't know.
I have a whole bunch of opinions on that, but I'm not going to go there right now. So I just want you to be informed and just remember to enjoy yourself. Go out. You can do anything that you did previously when you were drinking.
Yeah, you can.
You can. You can do anything that you want.
Yep.
You did not have alcohol and have fun when you were a kid.
Some people did, but most
I'm
didn't.
talking when you were a little kid.
Yes, true.
You did not drink. You had fun.
I just want to be like that guy on the beach in that video I saw with his electric dump truck and electric RC and loader.
That was awesome.
I would go to the beach with that.
I think you might go.
All right, kids.
Anyways, this has been a great...
Happy July sober... What is it?
Dry
July.
And we just want you to know that if you need any help, as always, we are available. Make sure that you download our Beyond Spirits guide.
Order one of these dope shirts.
It has the best tips that we used when we took a break from alcohol.
The top tips, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time on those non-top tips.
The top 7 tips.
Because people love odd numbers, I guess. All right, kids, that's it for us for this week. I'm Matt, along with Coach Amy, wishing you peace and love from the cornfields. And we are
out.